What's up, friends and foes? Welcome to Let's Get Nerdy. As always, I am your host, Corey, here with the Frank Castle to my microchip, the world's finest co-host, Wyatt! Tell them what we're doing today.
God damn, that's a big intro to follow. Today we are covering the new Marvel Studios short presentation. I don't know what the right term for it is, but Punisher One Last Kill. What is it?
It's Punisher One Last Kill.
No, I know that.
Oh, I think they're calling it like I have the thing up in front of me. I want to say they call it like not Marvel Searchlight. That doesn't sound right.
I wanted to say short, but I don't think short is right. Short. It's not a short film. I guess it is a short.
Film. They're calling it a television special.
Television special.
A special presentation.
Special presentation.
That's what they do on the Marvel banner ahead of.
Okay.
Yeah, we're talking about the recent release of John Bernthal's Punisher. This was actually, fun fact, this was written by John Bernthal himself, along with the director, I think Ronaldo Marcus Green, which is not a name I've heard before.
I've never heard of that name.
But so with that, what we'll do is we'll probably just go ahead and jump into non-spoilers thoughts first, and then get into, I guess, our more detailed thoughts. I'll let you kick it off. What did you think of Punisher One Last Kill?
Let me tell you something, Corey.
Let me tell you something.
I liked it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was a good time. It's really fast paced. Mm-hmm. It's really dramatic. You know, as it should be, of course, as it should be. It's not exactly what I was expecting, though. Mm-hmm. I'll say, and I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. It's just different than what I was expecting. Mm-hmm. I have a couple complaints about it, but definitely more positive feelings than anything negative. So, I want more. Definitely would like more. Yes. You know, I don't know, be it another short television special presentation thing or a full-on movie or whatever. But
I don't know if this counts as a spoiler, but I do know that both Bernthal and Green have said that they kind of want to do a full movie.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So for my initial thoughts, I had a lot of fun with this. That's weird to say. Like, how do I say this? They fit a lot into. It's a 50-minute runtime.
Yeah. And
they fit a lot into it. I will say this is one of the few things that I might give people like a warning ahead of time of like this is it's TVMA. And more than any of the other like Netflix Marvel properties, even compared to like this last season of Daredevil Born Again, it makes use of that. I do think there is some violence that I would, if I'm being honest, borders on unsettling and upsetting. So like if that is something that you're not necessarily looking for out of your comic book presentations, I don't know if I would suggest this to like everybody.
Yeah.
If you do like Punisher at all and you consider yourself a Punisher fan, absolutely go watch this one. It in 50 minutes does what it can to explore the character, and it's not, explore the character and kind of give a meaningful look into the mind of Frank Castle, and then it gives you just a lot of really good action. Yeah, and I guess any issues I might have to save for the spoiler section. Yeah, but yeah, I would say go watch it. If you can handle if you like the Garth Ennis run of Punisher, this is definitely evoking that era. Yeah. And now we're gonna get into some pretty big spoiler territory. So if you haven't watched it yet and you don't want it spoiled, please go now, or if you do want it spoiled, keep watching, and that's fine. I will say, spoiler wise, like I don't think we're gonna say anything here that's gonna ruin it for you. No. Like this is, I almost feel like this is playing the greatest hits of the Punisher.
Yeah.
It retreads some similar ground for the Punisher in terms of like how we found him at the beginning of the Netflix series with the long hair and the beard, and not really wanting to be the Punisher, but it explores it in a really interesting way. It starts off, Frank Castle he's as always living off the grid in Little Sicily, and it's well. So let's talk about the fucking intro. Actually,
okay.
Do you remember what I'm talking about?
It opens with Danzig and stuff.
It opens with Danzig and him doing goddamn pull-ups until his fingers bleed.
Yeah.
And he's seeing like all just kinds of visions of literally everybody in his life. Pretty much anybody that they could pay to get back on set.
Pretty much, yeah.
I guess, what did you think of that intro?
I thought it was a really cool intro. And I think it really it set the tone for the special. Like, set it immediately, and they carried that tone through. I think the whole show, which was great because it's deep and it's real, and I thought they seem to have shown the PTSD aspect of Frank really well, and I thought that that really, it's something that like we've seen but not to that extent, and I think that is my favorite aspect of the show. But yeah, just to see like how, I guess, raw the intro felt in a way, and how lost he seems, and there's questions out of the gate, of course, as it starts picking up from Born Again season 1 to the special. But yeah, no, I thought it was really raw. It was emotional, but it was like, oh. But yeah, I thought it was a really good intro. It was raw. It was emotional. It was intriguing, and I thought it set a good tone for the show, for like this journey that we're gonna go on to.
100%. But that's actually not the intro I was talking about.
What the fuck?
I was talking when the fucking dudes kill the dog.
Oh, bro. I locked that out of my goddamn head.
When that happened, I let out an audible like,
No, yeah, I did too. I was like, you motherfucker.
Yeah. So,
that dude was like, he was just fucking like being evil for no.
Yeah, I think that was the idea.
It was.
I will say at the end when the Punisher finally kills him.
Yeah.
The Punisher did not ask enough questions.
No, he didn't ask like any questions.
Because he was like, "Hey, he took something from me." He was like,
"Yeah,
got it." I'm like, "All right, Frank, hold on, whoa."
I'm jumping to that for a second now that we're talking about it.
Fuck it, we'll jump around. We don't need anybody.
You're right. He asked like 2 questions maybe, and then looked at the guy, and then that was it. But it was almost like, no. Why? Why do you do this, child? Okay.
We're good.
Okay. All right. It was almost not satisfying enough, I think, that guy's death in particular, just because of fair. How visceral he was during this, and like, just fucking kill the dog.
Yeah. Like
it was a toy, threw it in front of a trash truck or whatever.
Yeah.
They pulled the old John Wick on us.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that guy suffer some of the violence that the other people in the short had suffered, And,
I don't disagree. Well, and that's actually what's funny. You're bringing up the John Wick of it all. That's kind of an opinion I've seen other people have of like this movie almost like distills what John Wick does throughout that whole trilogy, but kind of without any of the context or what makes John Wick as good as it is. One thing I will say off the bat, like a compliment I definitely want to praise, is like visual wise, like visually this is a really well shot and like presented television special. I still don't know what to call it.
I don't know what to call it either.
Like, I love that intro that we end up getting where he does like walk to get a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
And as he's walking, like it gets crazier and crazier and crazier.
Yeah.
And I love kind of the idea of with them playing of like who's really there and who's actually talking to him. Like in that playing into the like, well, is all the shit that's happening around him, is that actually, because like, if you remember, it goes into him also hearing like sounds of gunshots and helicopters over, and like, so that calls into question a really interesting, I think, thought of like, is all of this shit actually happening around him?
Yeah.
Or is this how Frank just sees everything since his like family was killed.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. That is a really intriguing question because it does leave it kind of ambiguous. You know, there's only a certain few times when like it's made obvious that like he is talking to someone that's not there. You know.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of that, like specifically a lot of that, like just utter chaos is happening in the streets. That like is it real? Is it not real? I mean, like because it seems like if it's real, then there should have been a lot more cops.
A lot more cops
and stuff, you know, because it was like just a complete like lawless wasteland. It seemed like, but if that's just how he viewed, God, crazy. If that's just how he views the world and how like chaotic his mind is, which I'm sure it is, you know, that's super interesting, and I would like to see more of that.
More of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what I'll definitely say with that is I think. Like this whole thing gave me I actually kind of get more of the feeling that I feel like this is supposed to be a pilot and that they're hoping that enough people watch it that it leads into something bigger, whether it's a movie or a show.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, I do love the inclusion of kind of the vision stuff and like especially if you watch the previous one, like the seasons 1 and 2 of the Netflix series for the Punisher of like. Being able to pick up on who's like if the person's really there by how they're talking to Frank. Like my primary example is when it's like Curtis being like, you know, oh what you killed a few people. Is that what he says?
I can't remember.
Exactly. He's like walking on the street and kind of mocking him.
Yeah.
My like I immediately was like, oh, Curtis would never talk to him like that, but like that's how Frank would talk to himself.
Right. So he's talking to himself through the lens of Curtis in a sense, like.
Yeah, and. You know, this is also where like an interesting thing, or something that I found interesting about it, was the idea that the Punisher might not fully believe in his mission anymore, or fully feel like his, you know, now that he's killed, because the thing before this all starts, he kills the entire Nucci family for the most part, and this is like the last family that is tied to the death of his wife and children. And so, like, this is the first time that I've seen a Punisher story explore the idea that he just might not want to be the Punisher anymore.
Yeah.
But the idea that if he's not the Punisher, he's just going to kill himself.
Right.
I find that really interesting.
It is. It is super interesting.
So kind of getting into my more general thoughts about the whole thing and the package, before we kind of get into the individual, like the action, which is really the centerpiece of it all.
Yeah.
You know, this centers around Ma Nucci also following Frank around all day. That was a really interesting part because, like, seeing the car follow him around, and you also kind of are sitting with him being like, is this actually following me around or not?
Yeah.
I kind of felt from the beginning like that's the only real thing. But, you know, but it turns out it's the last living member of the Nucci family. Ma Nucci pulled straight from the Garth Ennis run of The Punisher. She has a really cool panel, if you've never read it, Wyatt.
I've never have read it.
Where she wakes up in a hospital. Because, like, he throws her in the comic books, spoiler alert, he throws her into a polar bear pen. And she survives. And so she comes back in a comic book where she's in a hospital bed, missing her arms and legs. So I kind of think that's where the wheelchair was a reference to.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, the Garth Ennis, I will say this personally, when it comes to, like, Punisher stuff, I read a lot of the 90s stuff as a kid, because that's also what my dad just had in his collection.
Right.
And the Garth Ennis Punishers were some of the first comic books I picked up as a kid, where, because you know when you're 10 and you get some shit you're not supposed to have, you're kind of like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
The Garth Ennis Punisher books were the first time I grabbed something and went, I shouldn't be reading this. This is too much. And I've never gone back to it, just because it is like a little bit too violent and grotesque for my taste.
Damn.
So there is actually a really cool scene where Ma confronts Castle in like the courtyard of the apartments that he's living in, like running through all the kills of her family members, and it seems she really doesn't have a problem with any of the other deaths except for her like youngest son that she felt was like the good one. And then you pretty quickly see, like, they cut to a shot of him like curb stomping the dude. It was pretty crazy, pretty intense, and being like, he died at 6:47, so at 6:47 you're gonna get a visit from, you know, there's a bounty on your head that goes live. Yeah. So pretty much John Wick 2, the intro of John Wick 2.
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Like this, when we get into the actual action of it, I felt it was like The Punisher meets The Raid meets John Wick 2. Have you ever seen The Raid?
No, but you've told me about it, and you showed me some clips of it.
Okay,
before,
yeah. So. And we touched on kind of little bits of the plot throughout, and the last little bit of thing to set up was, Ma Nucci, who is the last surviving member of the family that Frank just killed, confronting him in the courtyard and letting him know that, she really didn't have a problem with her, with him killing her husband and I guess her older son, right?
Yeah,
or like, yeah. Her real beef is he killed the only son that she thought was like a good one, and like she didn't feel that. I guess he was accused of things that she didn't think he was actually guilty of,
like touching. I think she said something about like he didn't touch them kids or whatever.
Yeah,
yeah. Which I mean,
which kind of leads into some of my feelings about the show. I'll let you kind of give your thoughts first, Wyatt. Okay. But that does kind of lead into some of my thoughts, so I'll let you go first.
Okay. So I guess like once we get that little bit of backstory from her and her confrontation with Frank, it's pretty much like off to the races from that point, and the rest of it goes really fast.
I will say before it really starts off, we do get the best fake out of the short with
Karen.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the only one that I was like, is she here?
No, that one got me.
Is she here? And then because especially when she was like.
I'm here.
Fuck, dude. Okay. Let's praise this. Johnny Bernthal is like fucking awesome in this.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing all the shit he does and everything he does.
Yeah.
But
he's so cool.
He's so good at it. It's like, and when he does, like, are you fucking with me right now? And like the moment, when's the moment you realized she was definitely not there?
I don't know. I think it had me all the way up until like it cut away and he was hugging the air. Like it. I really believed it.
The moment he grabbed her like that, like when he did like the.
No, okay, but like, I believe that because like they had like I feel like they have had or do have like some chemistry or a thing.
Yeah.
And so like I felt like it was maybe like an unspoken thing that like that wasn't shown like maybe in Daredevil or whatever, but like.
The only I don't disagree. The only reason I don't think they would do that is because she is firmly with Matt Murdock now, and like I don't think they would do that. Like they would not do the character assassination of Karen Page that they did in the comic books.
I guess depending on when like this falls in the timeline, I guess it could have made sense in that regard. But
from what I understand, it's supposed to be between season 1 and 2, so it's after he breaks out.
Yeah.
But it's not necessarily during season 2. That's the other thing. If you're coming this from Daredevil Born Again season 2 and you're wanting an explanation of where Frank Castle is during all those events in season 2, you do not get that answer.
No, you don't. You don't get shit.
I was like when season 2 ended for Born Again, I was really excited. Like, oh man, this is gonna be an awesome supplementary piece. It's gonna like kind of round out the story.
Yeah.
And it doesn't at all. It does not address anything in Daredevil at all.
In that, I have some beef with that because we're getting way fucking off topic.
We're getting way off topic, but
I have some beef with that because I remember I saw an interview or an article or something with someone from, I think it was on Marvel's Instagram page, and I don't know if it was with John Bernthal or who. I don't remember who it was, and I should, but I don't. But they were talking about how like this is going to fill in pieces from Born Again season 2 and where Frank has been, what's been going on, and. I think they even said like it was going to reference like how he got out of the confinement and stuff at the end of season 1.
Yeah. But they show how he did.
They show how he started to get out, but he never actually got out. I don't think or no, maybe he did. I don't remember.
Yeah, because remember he grabbed the dude and like bashed his head against the cage and grabbed the key. And
did he grab the key? And
get out? Yeah. Okay. So they showed how he got out.
Okay. That's right. You're right. Because he was like befriending the kid and then killed him. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right. I just forgot that part. But it doesn't reference where the fuck he's been, what's been going on, why he wasn't there, because they talk about him in season 2. So,
I think the idea is that they just want you to think this is going on during season 2.
I think so, yeah.
Which is fine, and I think the assumption is that he's spending season 2 hunting down the Nucci family, and because that's such a, and granted this is headcanon, I'm having to fill in gaps here.
Yeah.
But I think my thinking with that is Kingpin probably isn't hunting him down because he's taking care of another crime family that's competing with him.
Yeah.
You know?
And that makes sense.
And also, if you want to talk about why is this happening with comic book characters, but this comic book character is not showing up, that's just comic book. That's probably the most comic booky thing about this whole situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess circling it back into, like, I will say that was one of my favorite scenes. And I do agree that, like, I think Deborah Ann Woll and John Bernthal just have really incredible chemistry. And I think there's, like, this underlying story. I was going to wait for our Daredevil video to say this because we were filming the Punisher video first. Like, I almost feel like there's this through line that, like, she and Frank understand that, like, they're in another life they're probably in love, but like because Frank does these like Frank's a serial killer, let's call it like it is, and she does, you know, while she has an understanding of what he does and doesn't necessarily disagree with what he does, she also does understand inherently it is wrong and it is, you know, too far. But I've always liked that dynamic between them two. So I like that this almost acts as like a greatest hits of all the characters he's interacted with in a way. I think the only one we were really missing was like Russo.
That's pretty much it. I think so.
Which I would have loved just to hear him yell Russo one more time. That would have been cool. But then Wyatt, this kicks off. The fucking action kicks off.
It does.
I guess, is there anything you want to say overall before we get, I guess, into the action or?
I mean, not before we get into it necessarily. Okay. I was just gonna start talking about the action and stuff because I did forget about the Karen stuff until you brought it up.
That's fair. So the action stuff kicks off right after the Karen stuff ends. I think it starts off in a really fucking cool way. Is like you get a knock on his door and someone's lighting his door on fire. And he fucking runs through the fire and shoulder tackles the door, which I have a feeling they just had John Bernthal improv that.
Probably.
So it leads to a very extended action scene that I will say I think kind of the way this action scene starts is emblematic of like my feelings for the whole short. I guess is that like if I'm being honest, there is some pretty upsetting imagery to kick it off. Of like Frank having to pull off a criminal from assaulting a woman in front of her child. And like throughout it's just some pretty egregious imagery that like I think I already used the term upsetting, but I could see somebody getting very like, and at times I was somewhat disturbed. I still had a fucking awesome time. It didn't matter. As soon as he like gets going with that shotgun.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think I ever felt like disturbed or anything by what was on the screen, except for the dogs. Except for the dog stuff. That's the only time that I was like, don't love that. But and I guess like just because like the scene with like you mentioned the scene where he pulls the guy off or guys off of the girl or whatever. I think because it was so quick, there wasn't like it didn't
register.
I guess I don't know that it, good God, I don't know that it's words are hard. I don't know that it didn't register. It was just I think that it was so fast paced and we were on to the next kill. So maybe it didn't register.
Well, and I think so. When I say that, I'm looking at like the totality of it and like specific details like that, or like when you do get the moments of the shop owner like on the corner, like in the fetal position, getting the shit kicked out of him. That's when it starts to get like, you know. Or there's the scene. This goes back to the scene where he's walking through the streets in the slow mo, and you hear the woman screaming at the dude, and you hear somebody get shot and she starts screaming more. That's kind of where it's like, oh fuck, shit, you know. And I think that's also like what are your tastes lean towards when you're taking on like superhero media. And so that's where I'll say like, you know, part of I think a lot of people's appeal for the Punisher, for being honest, is I think a lot of people's like appeal for the Punisher is the male fantasy of being able to, you know, like of being the badass that kills all the criminals and like, you know, we all know the dudes who roll around with Punisher shirts. That kind of individual. Whereas like I think my fantasy in terms of superheroes leans maybe a little bit more towards the Flash and Green Lantern if I had my choice.
Yeah.
But none of that fucking matters because whenever I Will Be Heard kicks on and that motherfucker starts running across the street and like fucking what is he pulls the kid off the fucking motorcycle, or was it he throws some shit, doesn't he?
I don't remember what he does exactly,
but
I know he makes a beeline for the shop owner.
Yeah, and then Hatebreed's I Will Be Heard kicks on, and that shit, I don't give, like, everything else goes out the window. Every criticism I have of this show, where, like, me and you were talking off camera, like, you can argue, like, this is kind of not a great presentation, right? This is, you know...
Yeah, and I think there's a lot to say about that, because I don't think it's that it's inherently not good. I think it's just that they tried to put so much in such a short box.
Yeah.
And it needs to breathe, because I think the story that's there is fantastic. It just needs to breathe. It needs...
this is absolutely probably should have just been an 8. There's an argument that this should have been an 8 episode.
Yeah.
Or fuck it, make it 90 minutes.
At least.
Like, and I'm cool with it being a 90-minute, like, straight to Disney Plus movie.
Yeah,
right?
that's fine. You know, that would have been awesome.
That would have been really awesome. And so it really felt like that's where the drawback is to me, where, like, it felt like everything was so, like, all right, we just need to lay the groundwork. We need to show you. We need to communicate where Frank is at. They do it really well, some with really compelling imagery. If they did it more in-depthly and a little bit more nuanced over the courses of a movie, it might be more interesting.
Yeah.
But then it's just on to the next thing, and then it's just action.
Yeah.
And like, the action is fucking awesome. Like
it is awesome. I think one... This isn't a complaint, I think, but I think one issue that, like, a lot of movies or shows like this where there is some intense gunplay, that I think something that they have to compete with now is just John Wick. You know, like everything has to either live up or surpass or live up to or surpass John Wick.
Yeah.
And everything feels like John Wick to an extent, you know.
So one credit I will give, I guess, this over to, because, like, there are definitely, like, John Wick clones a lot coming out a lot. The distinction I will give here is I think they do a really good job of showcasing Frank's character in his movement. And this goes back to season 1, right, of The Punisher. Like, that fucking awesome scene when his hideout is built for people to invade it, so he can just fucking grab shit from the ceiling and pull it at you. Know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And that's clearly here of, like, him just being a fucking bull of a man and just, like, running through people, like, you know, but still, like, clearing doorways with a shotgun and shit like that, showing it, you know. And there is that awesome scene. I know everyone's, like, making fun of how it looked when he, like, he falls off the, like, when he falls off the roof and then fucking hits the guy first and then falls, which I don't know if you saw that is a practical shot. They just CG'd John Bernthal's face onto the stuntman.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. So that actually did take place. It didn't look good, but it did take place.
Well, I think the one that I keep seeing people, like, meme about is the, like, when he falls into the AC unit or whatever it is on the...
That's what I'm talking about.
Is it like didn't he shoot as he's falling and not once he hits?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I guess, like, I haven't seen people make fun of the shot, I guess, so much, but, like, once he actually hits the unit.
No, well, and that's what I'm talking about. So when he hits the unit and, like, it looks fake, it's because they CG'd a face over on him.
Oh, jeez.
Like the set, I guess, like, because, like, the filming crew, like, production crew came out and were like, no, guys, people did that. Like, that's a real stunt. It's not, you know. But I also just love the shot beforehand. I also love that little clip, like the moment where he also, like, rolls off onto the scaffolding, and he sees the dude jumping down on him. He's like, "Oh fuck!"
Yeah, I know.
Do it again. that was like. So there are a lot of really nice, like, little character moments of Frank Castle, and then like I said, obviously I mentioned it before. My favorite moment of the fucking thing is when the Hatebreed kicks on.
Oh yeah,
and it's just not only do they let the whole fucking song play, Wyatt, they start the shit again.
Yeah, they do.
He plays through the song, he thinks he kills everybody, and then a bigger, more tattooed dude comes out of nowhere, and they just play the song over him stabbing. I've never seen someone stab so many times.
Now, okay, so that one,
yeah,
this might just be me thinking into it and laughing a little bit too much, but like, do you think that was them trying to like poke at John Wick a little bit? Because there's the whole joke in John Wick about him killing the guy with a pencil.
Maybe.
And Frank didn't just kill the guy with a pen, like he
to the point that he spurts blood.
Yeah, he massacred the guy, dude, with the pen.
That was the one that like. I'm sorry if I'm cutting you off.
No, you're fine. That was pretty much my whole thought.
But both times I watched it, like the clip of The Simpsons, like he's already dead.
He's already dead.
Especially like the close up that looks like, in Napoleon Dynamite when they're like the opening credits when he's like moving things with his hands.
Yeah, that's
what I thought. Like it's like the Punisher just stabbing the dude for like 30 seconds straight as it's still like, watch the tears from my eyes, dude. It's so fucking cool.
It is.
But then also like my adult brain kicks in and I'm like, that little girl.
Oh yeah,
scarred for life.
Well, her mom kept being like, "Don't look." But then she immediately goes and hugs Frank and like had to have seen everything.
And what I love about that is also Frank is like historically in the show and like even in comic books, like around kids is like a pretty good dude and like I love that he leaves the fucking body just on the counter. He's just like, bye. But
I mean, I do love how like he does have like the she gives him the little patch or whatever the fuck and like it I don't know if it heals part of him, but like it makes an impact on him because he carries it all the way to. Was it his wife's grave or his daughter's grave?
I think it was his daughter's grave because goddamn, we didn't talk about that.
Yeah, I know, because all of the stuff, like the emotional stuff with his family and his daughter specifically. Oh my god. Yeah, that was like 10 out of 10.
Those were incredible scenes.
Yeah, all of that was so good.
When she fucking disappears too. Fuck. But yeah, and then it leads him back to the scene and like rediscovering the key and like confirming that like no, this is still my mission because there's still other little girls out there in danger. What do you think of that haircut at the end of it?
Frank's haircut?
Yeah.
I don't mind it, I guess.
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a little too like what I found funny about it is like if you remember back to like season 1 of the Netflix Punisher when he had like the whole long hair, people kept making fun. He's like, "Oh, you look like you're being a hipster."
Yeah.
And I feel like he like shaves his head because he's like, people kept calling me a hipster. I can't have that. But in this, like, I feel like that haircut made him look so much more like a hipster. but it was cool seeing it end with him in the full Punisher regalia. I was really bummed when he was like running around in the green hoodie because I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Like
that's my like one of my biggest complaints with like, I guess, the Punisher or like the whole Netflix universe is like it takes them so fucking long to get to the costumes and then they don't ever stay in it very long.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I feel like especially if we're talking about like the Netflix series specifically, Disney Plus,
they're better. Yeah.
Is like they're almost a little bit embarrassed to be comic book shows.
That's what it feels like. Yeah.
And so that's why like it takes so long and like it takes so long to get a Daredevil costume out of. Granted, that season 1 costume is still pretty cool.
It's pretty cool
because it like
I mean, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut you off.
Yeah, go.
But like to round all that around, like it is really cool to see his look, like his new Punisher look, and like him embracing it and like owning it, and it looks great.
It looks fucking great.
I think all of his Punisher suits, like that have had the skull on them, they all looked good.
Yeah. Now my question though is, do you think with like, because we've seen it with Daredevil, right? Every time he's shown up on the Disney Plus era, he's had different costumes, and we've even gotten the ketchup and mustard, like the original yellow and red costume in She-Hulk. Yeah. Do you think we get the OG Punisher with like the magazines on his belly?
I think we do. Yeah.
That's the one thing. Like, I hope they're brave enough to give us white boots and white gloves Punisher.
Yeah, buddy. I don't think that we'll get the white boots and stuff, but like, I bet they'll do some variation of it at least.
Yeah, because like I don't think they've set up this Frank Castle to be that guy.
Yeah, I don't think he's.
I want it so bad though.
I do too.
Of my favorite looks in comics.
It's so fucking cool. But yeah, I don't think we'll actually get it. But
Because I also feel like John Bernthal would put that on and go, yeah, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, I could see that too. What was I guess like in just John Bernthal in general, I think he's fucking great for this role.
Absolutely, and that's actually one of the questions I have for you. Have you seen how many of the other like Punisher stuff have you seen?
I think I've seen everything at least once.
Even I've never seen the Dolph Lundgren one. I'll tell you that.
Oh fuck, no, I haven't seen.
I've never seen it, but I have seen. I know I've seen the Tom Hardy one. Nope. Thomas Jane. Yeah. Yes, I've seen that one once. My dad actually took me to see the Punisher Warzone in theaters.
I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
That is one of the ultimate like, and I think I've said this. That's one of the ultimate like. I talk about reading those Garth Ennis Punishers. Like I shouldn't be reading this. That was when I was like, Dad, you shouldn't have brought me here. This is too violent for me, man. We just saw a parkour dude get blown up with a rocket launcher.
I mean, because we were in middle school when that came out, right?
I would have been maybe 6th grade. 6th or 5th grade. Like, I was real young.
Yeah.
And it was fucking awesome. And
I've only seen that one time. It is cool, but I need to watch it again, admittedly, because I don't remember it very well. But
it is probably way cheesier than you remember, because I've watched it somewhat recently.
Oh, okay.
It is much campier than this one. It's weird to say that for a Punisher. And so, sorry we had to interrupt due to issues with the camera, but we're good now. So, yeah, with that, getting back to the conversation at hand, not only how do you think John Bernthal compares to the other Punishers to your memory? Where does John Bernthal, I think, rank among the like iconic castings for like?
I mean, I think Thomas Jane like looks like the Punisher a lot. You know, like he fits that role visually very well, and I think his performance in his movie is good. But John is just he's my favorite by far. Like, without a doubt, hands down, my favorite. So,
I would say the same. What's funny is I would say what you're saying about Thomas Jane. I would say about Ray Stevenson as Punisher.
Okay, and I think he fits the look too. Yeah, definitely.
Have you ever seen the short film on YouTube? It's called like Punisher Dirty Laundry. I think it's by this dude Adi Shankar, and it is like you should watch it. It's like a 15-minute short film of Thomas Jane with Thomas Jane in it as Punisher.
You told me about that. He
kills a bunch of dudes with like a whiskey bottle.
Yeah.
But I think, but like it's one of those things. I think objectively, like John Bernthal's the best of them. I think even Thomas Jane has said that. Thomas Jane has actually been like, yeah, he kicks our ass because like Thomas Jane deposits that like his thinking is that like John Bernthal is like a East Coast Italian dude. Like that's like he is Frank Castle. He's like I'm an Irish dude from like the Midwest,
right?
Or I forget where he's from, but like he's like you know, I like the Punisher, but like John Bernthal has a much more like a fundamental understanding of the character based on like where he's from and his background compared to me,
right?
And I think that like really I almost fall. I will say, and I think I've said this to you. I think as good as the John Bernthal does, I feel like he doesn't understand the Punisher, because I've heard him so many times talk about being like, yeah, man, like once I start getting into the Punisher, all these law enforcement and military guys were coming to me saying how much they love, like how much the character means to them, and I feel like that's what I'm representing when I'm becoming the Punisher, and I'm a little bit like. Yeah, no, that's not the point. Punisher's like here because those guys aren't good. not necessarily military guys, but like anyways, we're gonna move on before I say something too salacious here. But I just always found that a little funny about Bernthal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess getting back to my other question of like, would you say he's a Robert Downey Jr. Heath Ledger level, where like there's like you can't see other people playing Punisher? Or would you say he's more Hugh Jackman, where like he's solid, but like I'm not going to be mad if this gets recast eventually?
I mean, I think at this point I would be upset if he got recast, just because he's made it this far into it and it's stayed this consistent.
Yeah,
and is now absorbed into the rest of the officially, I guess, into the MCU. It's like this is our Punisher, So. From that standpoint, and from the point that, like, I just really like John Bernthal. I would be upset if he got recast, but I don't think I would say it's quite the same as like Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr. or even Hugh Jackman. I think that would be harder for me to see someone else playing Wolverine. Just
That's
maybe because like he's played Wolverine for so long, But
that's fair.
I'm still open to, I guess, other castings, of course, for Wolverine because.
If I'm being honest, I think I have John Bernthal as Punisher over Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Oh, really?
Because if we're getting into that discussion of it, like because I've never really watched Hugh Jackman as Wolverine on screen and felt like that's the Wolverine I've read in comic books. Like I feel like
I think I could see what you're saying.
Yeah, like maybe in Logan and like maybe spots throughout the X-Men movies, but like it never feels like, oh, that's fucking Wolverine, baby.
Right.
Whereas like again, we're going back to that like that awesome scene in the in season 1 where he like wrecks house and he's just like covered in blood going, oh, like that's when I'm like that's the fucking Punisher, man,
Yeah.
Or like he's like he's calling out Russo in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
That shit's pretty like.
Oh my god. Okay. Can you hear that out there?
They're turning around. All right. And I think that's pretty much all of our thoughts about Punisher One Last Kill. Actually, the only thing we haven't talked about is the name of it.
What was the name?
Is the name.
Doesn't fucking make sense.
Yeah, what's the one last kill?
Well,
is it Manucci? Is it her? Is she the one that has to be killed last? Is it Frank? Is he the one last kill? Like to take himself out?
Yeah. Which like I think that's what they were alluding to, that like that was his one last kill he has to make was himself.
Which makes sense in the context of the story, but
yeah. I will say, as cool as the name of this is, or as cool as the name as it is, I feel like it was underutilized.
Yeah, I don't feel like it was the best choice of name for the short. I never honestly made the connection to myself about him being the one last kill until I just said that.
Oh,
which makes it make more sense to me.
More sense. So we immediately figure out why they call it that. That's fine.
But up until that point, I was like, "What the fuck is? Why?
What is the one last kill?"
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what they're alluding to. I do hope we get more Punisher out of this, whether it's a movie or a show.
Definitely, yeah.
Here's my question to you: if they do a Punisher show, what do they call it?
Warzone.
Well,
Punisher Warzone.
The Ray Stevenson movie is Punisher Warzone.
Oh, fucking War Journal.
War Journal. Yeah.
Okay,
That's what, because I feel like that's the Born Again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So with that, that's kind of all we got. So go ahead and leave your comments down below on what you thought of this as a short. Let us know let us know if John Bernthal is your favorite Punisher, or if you do prefer Thomas Jane or Ray Stevenson or Norman Reedus. He voiced Punisher.
Yep. In the game?
I think it was like a weird anime thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you liked Norman Reedus as the Punisher, let us know down below. If you want to hear more about comic books and stuff like that, please hit that subscribe button. We, along with this, should have a Daredevil Born Again Season 2 review coming up as well. So if you want to check that out, please do. And, we got Supergirl coming up in the summer. We got Spider-Man after that. So there's going to be a lot of comic book stuff we're putting up on here.
There's a lot of lanterns.
There's The Boys. Which I have not watched any of this.
I haven't watched.
I'm not really a big fan of Boys.
I'm probably not going to watch them. I'll be honest.
Yeah. So if you're looking for Boys content,
look elsewhere.
There's the door. With that, if you're looking for Supergirl content, or there's Mandalorian and Grogu, there's a lot of other shit we're gonna be talking about. So
we probably just lost.
We lost
our
lot.
Subscribers.
Hey, if we're here to make people happy. Anyways, thank you for watching. You have a good rest of your day. We got to get back to nerding out about One Last Kill.
Something like that.